impression of me?
Considering we only
Let's
spoke...
say second or third impression.
Yeah, considering we only spoke for 5 minutes that night, we ended up messaging back. I think I got underneath her skin because I didn't give you the type of attention that you were used to getting.
No, you were being somebody else. You know
so
that.
sweet.
He was like being, you know, one of those guys. Like,
as far as our first date is concerned, one of the things about Asia was I felt that you were portraying somebody also that you were not. And so I remember we were at Cheesecake Factory, and that was our first dinner.
You first have dinner.
And
like oh yeah, that's where we had our first dinner.
Yeah,
I know that's a question here. Where
I may have not been portraying who I was, but I don't think you were either.
No, I think we both weren't.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of nerves and stuff,
But
too.
I thought overall, you know, she was...
it's hard to be, like,
cool.
100% yourself the first time you meet.
I think this was very important for us, is that we were very upfront and open.
Oh, yeah.
At that point in time where I was at in my life, I told her I wasn't looking for a relationship, that I was planning on, you know, seeing and getting to know other people. Not just the way it was, because I didn't want to put on a lie that I knew later on it was going to be found out.
And that was very refreshing for me, because that was honestly the first time somebody was so real about where they were in life. Mm-hmm. Because I think guys sometimes just say what they think a girl wants to hear, especially a Middle Eastern girl and someone who has thoughts about like finding someone to settle down with. And you know, so they just say whatever they think that you want to hear. Right. And it's very misleading. And when you were being that way with me, it allowed me to be 100% with you. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to Dubai to study Arabic. Like, I'm not even going to be here for the summer. So, yeah. And then after that, it was like, literally like leaving that night, such an awkward date. Mm-hmm. But it was, I think towards the end of the night, when you gave me that gift that you had brought back from your travels,
right, yeah.
And we both kind of warmed up and we both let our guards down. And when I was leaving, I just remember when we do the text message, like the smiley.
We texted a lot.
We'd send like a smiley text message every time we'd head home. Yeah. And it was just a way of being like, I'm really happy, like I'm in a good place. And so I was heading home, and it felt different. Like, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I think that's it. No, I'm kidding.
We did take it very slow as far as getting to know each other. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, we would say slow, but our friends would say, "Whoa,
yeah,
you
I
guys
think that was
went
another
really
question.
fast."
Before.
How long did we know each other before we got married? Or no, like basically engaged.
Yeah, it was 5 months.
So this is how it went. This is what I say. We met, like, went out on date June, and then July we were like, okay, I think this is something. Mm-hmm. August, I remember it was after Jummah prayer. We were sitting out in the car, and we decided to go to Jummah prayer together because we both had the flexibility on Fridays, and I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Jummah prayer with a hot guy? Like, come on. No.
All this is, and I personally, I don't advertise my being Muslim.
Not
when she found out,
not being Muslim, you're just not preaching.
Preaching, yeah, in that respect. But when she found out that I
had no idea.
Make Salah 5 times a day, we were texting each other, and I remember.
No, it was on G-Chat. Remember, you created an account for me because I never had like a chat account.
But yeah, she was very surprised by it. But
the account name was Pillow Talk, because we wanted to chat, you know, before bed or whatever, and you were like...
She didn't have a G-Chat, so...
Yeah, I was like
anyway,
old school.
Jummah prayer.
But anyways, so we were outside of Jummah prayer, and I remember he was just like, awkwardly, he was like, so, if my family comes and asks for your hand, marriage, like, what would you say? And I was like, what?
I thought I asked you about the ring. What type of ring you wanted?
Oh, first you asked if they come to ask. Because you're not going to ask about a ring before you know.
Oh, true.
So then after that, you were like, well, what kind of rings do you like? Yeah. And it was really strange. Okay, so that was August. And then September, you went and got the ring. Yeah. In October, he proposed.
October, there was a lot of changes.
How different would our lives have been if we did not meet? I don't even want to think about that one. It makes me teary-eyed. And I'm like hormonal, emotional. Yeah. I mean, obviously, people can settle down with whomever, and you're really blessed if you find somebody who you truly believe is your soulmate or, you know, your better half. But I just think that it wouldn't have been as blessed. I wouldn't have found someone that would have made me be a better person like you have.
Thank you.
Or who has like inspired me to do better. Mm-hmm. What are some practical things that help keep our marriage strong?
I'd say first and foremost for me is just open communication. I know, and that's something that you may consider cliche, but from the very beginning, we were very truthful and we're seriously talking about marriage. We talked about finances. We talked about families. We talked about...
He asked me how much I spend a month.
If I put out front that I may be going to law school and we may have to live off loans. And that's a lot of things that I think from people we spoke with, it's things that were going to cause problems later on in typically in marriages. Just communicating without judgment and being
that's
truthful.
the most important thing, I think, is communicating without judgment and accepting what the other person has to offer.
And I think one more thing is just respect for families is very important, especially for each other's parents.
And if you love him or you love her, then you just gotta make sure that you show that kind of respect and love to their parents. So much of who they are comes from their parents.
I think one of the questions that asked about has the Vintageista inspired my clothing style. Yes, one of the reasons when we were talking about her doing what was now become the Vintageista, I believe she has a great passion for it, and with great passion comes success, and it's something that's naturally done for her.
Yeah. What do you guys think is your greatest accomplishment together?
Honestly, when we were able to get married, I know my parents, especially my father, had reservations at that time because he said, "Oh, you're only 25, you're getting married." And of course my mother backfired and said, "Weren't you 21 when you got married?" Because, yes, we only knew each other for 5 months, but we trusted in God to move forward and do things the right way, the halal way, so to speak.
But just growing up in life, I've had huge fears about marriage and kind of being aware of the relationships around me or whatever it may have been. I just was like, you know what, Muslim, yes, but I don't know, like Afghan or Arab, I didn't have the best impression of that or of those kinds of marriages. So anyway, but when I met you and the way things happened, I think that is our biggest accomplishment, is just believing in God, and did do the namaz, like istikhara. I am 1000% believer in that, and I've always done that prayer for big decisions I've had to make in my life. And when I did that prayer, it was so obvious, like no doubt, like even to the moment we had our nikah and our wedding day, there was like not 1 second where I doubted my decision, because the signs were all there, and I just had to believe and move forward. Any
respect of life, whether it's marriage, kids, it's like, oh, the timing is right. I don't think there's ever a perfect timing. There's no right time to get married. Can you marry too young? My own personal view is yes, you can. Yeah. But I don't think age of 25 and 24 for us.
No, I think that was good.
It was the right time.
Yeah, it was a really good time for us.
Does your husband have a brother that's single? No, I have 2 older sisters.
That's funny. Yeah. It would have been cool though if you had some brothers.
I think it would have been, yeah. I mean, growing up,
I would have auctioned them off on the vintage stuff. While he was studying and busy, what was I doing for myself, and how was I supported? I was working when he was in school, and also...
And that was in school part-time. So
yeah, but he was also working full-time and had a business on the side and teaching at a university. So it was like a lot of stuff. But, with his time management skills, weekends was still family time, which is great. But for me, I think if it wasn't for my mother staying with us and helping with Zizi and just kind of keeping things in balance and just kind of keeping me occupied here and there, just having some really close, just a few really great friends who would always be there and check up on me or come over, and my best friend would be over every other night, so it's always having a small group of people who are there for you when you need to support someone else. Really helpful to have that. Do we want to go to the agenda?
I think we should.
We are expecting a little girl. And it's really exciting because now we can just check off both boxes of both genders, and Zion kind of knows that he is to be a big brother. I have one more gift I wanted to show you guys. So we had this one company send us these little shoes, and I just like completely fell in love with it. They're little Chanel shoes. They're so cute. You can't really see them. I'll take better photos of them and post them online, but they're really cute, and they're made so wonderfully, and I just can't wait to put these on her little feet. I'm so excited. I will tag the name of the company that sent these shoes down below. Whatever else that comes in, whatever else I fall in love with, I'll be sure to share on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for, you know, asking your wonderful questions. There were several other questions that I got via private message, and I think we're planning on doing some blog posts for those.
Yeah.
So it's more, you know, if you guys ever have any type of questions, feel free to send them over. I get tons of emails, and it takes me a little while to respond, but I do respond, and I take, you know, time to respond wisely with my own experiences and such. But I appreciate all of the time that you guys take to comment and do all that good stuff. So thank you. And I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye. You just want to get out of here.